Most of us spend our entire lives trying to impress other people. But the reality is, the only real person that you and I need to impress is yourself, myself, in the future. I'm gonna show you in this video how to win by focusing on the version of you 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. My name is Jason Ellinger, and I'm the CEO of TaikaTranslations and TVP Team. And I've spent years studying success, not the hype, not the pizzazzy stuff that everybody sees, but the actual focused activity to transform your life day after day, year after year. And what I want to talk to you about today is how I started living differently and how you can start living differently so that your future self actually says thank you. So listen, first and foremost, what winning really means. And I think so many people get distracted or get this wrong. But listen, winning isn't about being richer, smarter, faster, or better than the person next to you. It's about impressing your future self. And I love this definition of success. John Maxwell says, "The people who know me best love and respect me most." And that's his definition of success. And so many of us have it backwards. We want to impress everybody around us in the entire world. But the people who know us the best are those people, do they love and respect us the most? And you, by the way, you know you best. Do you love and respect you most? And the reality is, if that's not the case, then you need to change it. And that starts with the actions that I'm going to talk about in this video today. Okay, so the first personal benchmark that you have to fully understand, that you have to just take on the mentality of, is that your only real competitor in all of this life is who you will be tomorrow. Is who you are today versus who you're going to be tomorrow. The decisions that you're making today that create tomorrow. That means that what actions do you need to take today to be that person that you want to see yourself as tomorrow? And this isn't hard. So many people try to cast this grand vision for their life and not see that it's the daily activities and who they are individually, personally, that cause them to create that tomorrow that they're after. Do you want to be more satisfied with tomorrow? Do you want to be more content? Do you want to be more of whatever the elements of life that you want more of? Okay, then the activity that you're doing today, does it produce that? That's a question that I had to answer for myself, and I would like you to answer for yourself. Is the activity that I'm doing right now producing that which I want to be tomorrow? All right, and the reality of this is that success is not built on things you can't control. Success is a compilation of you making decisions and me making decisions in the elements of life that I control. And if there is something that you desire in the future, then you have everything in your grasp to be able to create that by the activity you decide to do today and in the weeks ahead that will incline you in that direction more and more and more. So stop wasting time with excuses of situations that you can't control. And what does that mean? Well, I had a bad childhood. Okay, so did millions of other people. And I'm not saying that your bad childhood was not relevant to your experience in this life and to how things are turning out for you. And I'm not saying that your experience in your childhood and your upbringing doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. But so many people say, well, my parents were were this way, and so that hindered me from being able to win. No, it didn't. It only hinders you for as long as you let it hinder you. And when you decide to stop, when you decide to say, you know what, I had a tough childhood, but so what? I mean, it was tough. I'm alive now. And now my future depends on the decisions that I make today, not the excuses I made about the situations that I can't control. The future is made on the decisions that you start to make today. So you control the controllables. And what you can control now is the decisions that you make daily to produce who you want to be tomorrow. And if you make excuses about situations that you cannot change and you can no longer change, maybe you could have changed stuff way back when, but now you can't. That is done and gone and it's history. But if that history is still controlling your life, you're giving it power by saying, this excuse causes me to be less of, to fail, to not be able to X. Then that means you're allowing that past thing in the past that nobody cares about and that's not even influencing your life any further other than in your mind and what you're allowing it to do to yourself, then you're not going to make progress. You're never going to grow outside of that. And it is going to control you. But the crazy thing is you can control it. You can control whether or not you let some negative experience or negative, huge chunk of your life in previous years control how your future is going to be. And so many people get stuck in this mess. And what I want for you is that you do not get stuck in that mess, and that you break free. I mean, you have to break free from the idea that you cannot control the controllables, because you can absolutely control them. You can control what the future looks like in your life by the decisions that you make today and in the weeks ahead. Now, avoiding complacency is something that is huge. And what did complacency mean? You beat someone else. You won. Great. 5 stars. Amazing. Is it done? Are you done winning? Is that it? Have you gotten to the mountaintop and achieved all that you will ever achieve in life? Or are you still sucking wind? So if that's you, then it means there's life ahead. So if you just get complacent by achieving something in a sphere during a specific period of time, you won't charge forwards into the future and win at anything greater. But if you want something greater, for example, now I want to be careful here that it's not just more money, it's not just more affluence. It could be a family. It could be a deep, enduring relationship with a loved one, with a romantic partner. Like, it could be the definition of success in this area. It could be a job that you really love, and you really love the team and the boss and the impact that you're making. That could be the reality. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have more of stuff. Essentially, the more stuff you get, in fact, some of the people with the most stuff, they have the most depression about the vanity of the accumulation of stuff. Like, yeah, it's really nice to have all this stuff. Man, sure feels empty sometimes if you don't have something that makes it all meaningful. The greatest blessing in life, when you can actually build a bunch of stuff, leave a legacy, and there's an undergirding and something that gives it all great meaning. So you have to avoid complacency in life. Well, this job is good enough, or this relationship is good enough. Well, maybe it's not. I mean, what if you don't like every aspect of it? You can improve it. How do you improve it? By the decisions you're making today to either invest, to take action, or not. Do you want better health? Go for a walk. You're severely overweight, or you haven't been to the gym in the past 15 years. Start with going for a walk and start to make a decision every single day that you will improve. And in 6-10 months, you will see a drastic improvement just by taking a really small step today to impress yourself tomorrow. If your relationships are kind of broken, if you need to, get some counseling. Or if you've been married for 15 years and you're kind of feeling the romance kind of wane, reignite it. Do you think it's impossible? It's not. I've been married for 16 years now, and I've seen lots of ups and downs. But at this point in my life, our marriage is the best I've ever seen it, because I've been intentional about what I want it to be. And my wife has done the same. She's been intentional, and I've been intentional. We haven't just we got married, it was a great experience, and then we just didn't invest ever after that in causing our marriage to grow. We also had 8 kids along the way. That was a huge burden and challenge, and something that we really had to work through, creating beauty out of that instead of just the burden, challenge, and grudge of raising children, which can be incredibly tough. But we decided, no, we're going to create an incredible tomorrow for ourselves based on what we want the future to be. And so we intentionally started working on that day after day after day, creating the reality that we want to be a reality, instead of letting this one win a long time ago in some specific area of our life make us complacent and think, well, we've won, now we just don't need to do any more investing. That's not the case. A lot of times it requires discomfort over a really long time, but that discomfort over a really long time creates such incredible meaning and wealth and density in your relationship and in all the work that you do. Second, inversion. Learn by defining failure. So one of the best ways to learn how to win is by studying losing, actually. If you know what guarantees failure, you can flip that and turn that into a positive in your life. And so you can create like a superpower in yourself to manufacture success for you. What are some common losing behaviors? So common behaviors that cause people to lose. What are some of those? Number 1, being impatient. Number 2, showing up late. 3, being unprepared for the work that you're doing or for the thing that you're trying to accomplish. 4, acting only on a transactional basis, not when you're not required to act. And then 5, never following up. Like, these are 5 of the biggest common losing behaviors. But how do we make the change? What is the other side? So we flip those and we convert them into something that's actionable and profitable for us. So flip them into winning habits, essentially. What can we do? Be patient. If you're impatient, start being more patient. That's something that you control. Second, if you're not often on time, be punctual. Show up on time. 3, come prepared for your presentation or your sales pitch. Become so prepared that people wonder how you could even be that prepared. 4, follow up consistently. Like, don't just follow up on 1 or 2 important tasks, but follow up on every single thing that matters in your world. If you have to, start by following up with your mother's phone call or your girlfriend, or make sure you follow up doing that thing that she asked you to do, or maybe you need to fix that door hinge that somebody asked you to fix 6 months ago and you've never done it. Start being a person that follows up. Or maybe you need to be a salesperson that actually asks for referrals. Like, when you finish a sale, you say, I hope you really loved our service. And if so, who could you recommend that I talk to who might need something similar to what we're selling? And you would be amazed. Do you have a specific 1 or 2 names or contacts that you can give to me that I could follow up with? If they're happy with you, odds are they're going to want to pass you to their friends, because it will impress their friends how well you serve them. Because this guy is patient. He's prepared. He follows up. He follows through. He makes sure that all of the details are dealt with. And who doesn't want to work with somebody like that? These are things you can control. The third thing is to break skills into small actions. Charisma isn't magic. People think charisma is some kind of magical exterior thing that only certain people have or can have in their lives. Charisma isn't magic. It's just smiling. It's listening. It's confidence. It's you preparing, because confidence in your activity or in your sales process or in your business isn't just magically appearing. It happens because you have prepared ferociously for that next step, for that next event. When we are not confident, it means we probably haven't prepared enough. I know one YouTuber who talks about how he delivers his speech 100 times before delivering a big sales pitch for his next big product. And he hones it, and he listens to himself, and he watches his body language, and then he delivers it again, and then he keeps honing it until he gets it as perfect as possible, giving himself all the confidence in the world that when he goes out is just second nature. So charisma isn't magic. You actually can control how charismatic you are. So simply show up by remember people names, by building confidence because you're prepared, and by smiling and actually listening. Third, prepare for the future you want. 1 is financial planning. Build stability before you actually need it. You can't make the next step if you don't have any margin at all. When you feel like you're restricted and suffocated, you can't go anywhere. But so many Americans, if you simply sit down and make a budget and work at it for 3 months, you can get to a place in your life where you actually have margin. You can make all of your payments, maybe pay double on some of the smaller payments, and start saving money for the future. But you can't do that if you have no plan. So number 1 is to actually start planning your finances. Saving is investing, setting aside resources. They give you the freedom to be able to make different and better choices later. I remember when I started our business, aside from God blessing us and helping us and making sure we didn't completely fail, the single biggest impact for our family, and the thing that gave us the freedom to start it, was because my wife and I had made a commitment for the previous 5 years to live on a financial plan, to live on a budget, to save, invest, give, and create a financial plan for our family that created margin. And so because we already had that discipline in place, when we went in to fully launch our business, we were able to maintain such a discipline, even restrict our budget down to bare bones so that the business could support itself on those first critical months where we're working to get it off the ground. Fourth, learn to thrive in hard times. Everybody wants to win and can win during good times, but champions are made in the downturns. If you just think you're going to open a business and it's going to go like, up and to the right. I don't know if it's up and to the right on the screen, but anyways, if that's how you think it's going to go, what you need to do is just go look at the S&P 500 or just go look at the stock of any company that exists, because you're going to see it's not always up. It goes like this, like that, like this, like that, like this, like that. And hopefully over time we have we have a bunch of points at the top of those up and down periods that are kind of up and to the right. If not, and it just goes down, then it's just utter failure. But I mean, every single company that you investigate, you will not see one steady upward trend. Even some of the most respected companies in the world that we know and love, Apple, look at its stock. It goes up and it goes down. And any other big stock from any company you can think of, it goes up and down. And people think, and too many of us think, that when we start something, it has to go up and to the right every single year for eternity. And it's simply not the case. You have to learn how to thrive in hard times just as well as in good times. So point number one with this is cycles are normal. Things go up. What goes up must come down. Business, investing, and even your personal life, they go through optimistic times of great prosperity and optimism to pessimism, discouragement, despair, struggle, and pain. And then recovery. But you don't quit when you're in the valley. And that's part of thriving in hard times. You have to acknowledge that cycles are normal. It's not all uphill. Resilience is a skill. Like, wait a minute. I thought you just become this person. You say, this person is very resilient. And they're just automatically so. But that's not the case. Hard times train you to outlast and outwork. Sometimes the only thing you need to do to stay in business and to prosper for 5 years down the road is to stay in business. You met all your obligations, you paid all your team, you paid yourself, and you can eat tomorrow. Great. And we take the next step forwards, the next right step. Sometimes you just have to outlast everybody else, because one of the hardest things to do is to be consistent over time. That's why you see the gym full of people in January to make their New Year's resolutions, because they've got to get their beach body. And by July, the same people who were there in November of the previous year are the ones who are there in July. And they just keep on going. But everybody who made all these resolutions and tried to become something bigger, better, and greater, they're not there anymore. So resilience sometimes just means you outlast and outwork everybody else around you. Success is far less about brilliance, some kind of massive genius that you have to have in order to prosper. It's more about endurance, being able to stand the test of time. And so many people think that they have to do that resilience comes from somewhere outside of them. It doesn't. It comes from you. You build resilience in yourself. Be somebody who's faithful to show up at the gym every single week, week after week, no matter what. Be somebody who's consistent to get up on time every morning. And be somebody who can endure something hard for a long time. And that may come in different shapes and forms for you, but building resilience into your life, it's a skill. It's something that you influence. It's not some kind of exterior thing that happens to you. You decide, am I going to outwork? Am I going to outlast? Am I going to find a way to prosper even in the hard times? That is a differentiator like nothing else for people who actually win and people who don't. And consistency over intensity. This kind of sounds like the last point, but I want to drive this home with helping you understand that extraordinary results come from you doing the right thing consistently for years. Even when that first couple years, you don't have the results that you're after. You're like, what? For years? Yeah, years. You mean I can't make an investment and have a great ROI in 12 months? You can have some sort of an ROI in 12 months, but if you want to achieve some kind of out of this world, massive results that nobody else in your life seems to experience, then you're going to have to be extraordinarily consistent for years. And that's so many times an investment that people don't want to make. You don't just go all in for a few weeks and become the strongman winner. You don't become a marathon winner by just going out and running for a couple weeks and all of a sudden you can run the entire marathon and win it. That doesn't work that way. It's years and years and years of training. And success and growth and prosperity is the same. It's you showing up consistently, thriving in hard times, Not when it's good, not when everything around you is positive, not when you feel great, but when you're not sure if you're going to make it. When you look out into the future and you're like, man, I don't know if this thing can succeed. But I think if I do this well enough for long enough, the data says that I should win. There's a chance of failure, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And I'm going to keep showing up again and again and again. I remember one YouTuber talked about how he built his channel, and he's like, I spoke to the producer and I said, for 5 years, I don't really want to hear about the results. We're just making content, and we're going to do it very consistently for 5 years until we actually start creating a powerful channel. And the producer was like, he sat back in his chair and he's like, nobody has ever said that to me before. And you know what? That same person built a channel with millions and millions and millions and millions of views. But it happens after years and years of investment. And that's what it's going to take for you to thrive during the hard times. Be consistent over intense. Anybody can intensely do something for a short period of time, but it takes truly great people to be consistent over a long period of time. So thrive in the hard times. That's section number 4. And the next thing you can do is number 5 is putting everything all together, creating this bouquet of success. So how do you impress your future self? Here's 3 simple steps you can apply right now. 1, invert failure. Write down the behaviors that are holding you back. You can literally take a piece of paper and do this right now. Write down the behaviors that are holding you back, then flip them into habits that cause you to charge forwards. 2nd, break it down. Take big goals, reduce them to the smallest repeatable actions in your life possible. If you can do small things each and every day, the big ones over time will take care of themselves. And 3, measure action, not just results. Tony Robbins says what gets you from here to here isn't knowledge, it's activity in the right direction. It's actionable daily activity moving you forward again and again and again. And it's action, not just the results. When you focus too much on the results, you lose sight of the activity you're supposed to do. You don't realize that there's cycles. You become discouraged. You let the discouragement cause you to not take action or to be less consistent. And then over time, you start to reap the harvest of inconsistency and a lack of productive activity. So the question I have for you is, did you do the work today to impress your future self tomorrow? That's the true scoreboard. Outcomes, they will follow, but today and the activity that you take right now, after you watch this video, like right now, are what's going to change your future. So look, winning is not about a one-time massive victory. It's not about this one big thing that you did in your life and you're done, one and done. It's about doing the right small things consistently over years so that your future self can look back on you and say, thank you. Thank you for making that investment in me. And listen, if this message resonated with you, I have a lot of really powerful content here on the channel about building habits, taking the right next step, breaking through mental blocks, and making the right next decision. I talk about scaling your business, creating that personal plan for your life and your family, and building a financial free future. I post new ideas here every single week. This is actually one of my efforts to impress my future self, this whole channel. So make sure to subscribe right now. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this message that I just delivered to you, please copy the link and send it over to them. Because I don't want you to miss any of the strategies that you need to implement today that will impress you in the future. So like the channel, subscribe below, and share with a friend.